I want you to think right now, what is the one thing that you are doing that if you changed today, if you stopped, if you shifted, if you altered, would have a profound effect on every other thing in your life?
The Mindspo podcast.
What do you see with your mind's eye?
Welcome back. Let's elevate. Roll your shoulders up and back. Unclench your jaw. Elongate your spine as you take a deep breath in. And now, exhale. Now take your mind to that person, place, or thing that you have gratitude for and start to feel into the joy available to you at all times. Elevate into a higher vibration as we expand together and dive into this conversation. Welcome back to the Mindspo podcast. My name's Rochelle Fox. I am your host, and you are tuning in for another episode in our Mindspo manifestation series, brought to you by Manifesty App. Now, today is a solo episode because I wanted to talk to you about a manifesting technique that has shifted so many things for me in the last 8 months. And this is a manifesting technique that I'm claiming, that I am naming, that I have invented. It is something that I just kind of realized reflecting on my own journey, on my own manifestation journey. And I wanted to give it a name and I wanted to share it with you because we are not about gatekeeping on this podcast. I do this podcast to help support you. You can consider me your manifestation bestie. Speaking of manifestation besties, I do want to give another little shout out to our sponsor, which is Manifesty App. And I wanted to say, if you are just listening to this podcast and maybe you haven't followed me on Instagram, by the way, my personal Instagram is at Rochelle_Fox. You might not know that Manifesty App, who sponsors these episodes, that's actually my app. So this is an app that I created, I made with my partner Soul, and it is really my dream app. Like, I can't even tell you, like every single time I open Manifesty App and I go on my phone and I look at this thing, I am just so happy that it exists because this is the app that I wish existed for years. I literally scratch my own itch as an entrepreneur and a teacher and a practicer of this beautiful world of manifestation and created my dream app. So if you haven't already downloaded Manifesty and taken advantage of our 3-day trial, then go and do that. You can find us in the App Store on Android or on Apple. And Manifesty is really the thing that is going to give you the tools to support you in your manifestation journey. So this podcast is no gatekeeping. I'm here telling you all the mindsets, the shifts, the ahas, the knowledge, the things that you need to know, but I can't give you the tools. Obviously, this is just my voice, whereas Manifesty is the toolbox. Like, these are the tools. This is code to help you create your reality. So if you haven't already downloaded Manifesty, it's a great way that you can support me and my work and this podcast. We have a free 3-day trial. All of my best meditations are on there. All of the tools that I use every single day to help create my reality with clarity are on that app. So go check it out on the App Store if you haven't already. Now, diving back into the episode. So talking about not gatekeeping and sharing all the shifts, this technique, this juicy technique that I want to get into today, it is actually inspired by something that I have experienced on my own manifestation journey. And this goes and ties in with another episode that I've done, and it is really my journey of becoming sober. So a little background story here. I'm currently 8 months sober. This was something that started as like a intuitive nudge from my higher self to experiment with this sober life kind of lifestyle. And then it is just continued on as like a curious experiment. And being 8 months into being sober, I have experienced a lot of changes in my life, a lot of shifts, a lot of ahas. There has been so many things that have changed in the last 8 months. But this chapter of being sober has made me realize something really profound. And it's what led me to create this manifestation technique that I'm going to teach you today. And the manifestation technique is called the one thing. And it's called the one thing because I believe in my own journey over the last few years, drinking has been the one thing that if I had done this earlier, I would have quantum leaped into the place that I am now. So let me explain. Since I have stopped drinking, so many things have gone on super sane, super speed in my life, especially career things. There have been so many more things that are falling in alignment, things that are just lining up, they're happening, they're flowing. I'm feeling better. Work is feeling better. Everything is just feeling like this magnetic, aligned, like really juicy, beautiful energy. And drinking is the one thing that I have changed that has caused this energy to take effect. And I believe that in life, if we want to become that future version of ourselves, if we want to manifest something, and if we've got like a vision in our head for who we want to be, there is generally one thing that we could let go of, one thing that we could stop, one thing that we could change that would change the game and shift everything. And that's where this manifestation technique came from. I want you to think right now, what is the one thing that you are doing that if you changed today, if you stopped, if you shifted, if you altered, would have a profound effect on every other thing in your life? And I want to highlight something about this one thing technique that is really, really important to notice and to be aware of. I'm talking about one thing that you can change, one thing that you can shift, or one thing that you can let go of. I'm not talking about doing more. I'm talking about doing less. And that's where the nuance of this technique comes in. I personally believe there are so many manifestation teachings and techniques out there that are about doing more. And that's great. I feel like so many of these sorts of teachings, they've really helped me. Yes, embodying the future version of myself, adding the new habit, doing the new thing. Like these are very, very powerful teachings and they can be really effective. But for me personally, on my own journey, something that I believe to be true is that so much of manifestation is letting go. It's releasing. It's stepping away from things and creating space rather than cluttering your space and adding in more things. I don't know about you, but I already have a long laundry list of to-dos. I have so many things that I would like to be doing that I'm not even doing. And that's not because like I'm being lazy. It's just because there is only so many modalities and so many healing practices one can fit in their day. There are loads of different things that I want to try on my journey that I haven't made the time and space for because I've made other things a priority. And sometimes when I'm manifesting and I feel like I have to like become a new person and adapt a new thing, it can just feel exhausting. Now, when I let go of something, when I shed something, when I release something, it actually creates space. There's just a different energy there. So I want you to think to yourself, close your eyes down if you want. I love closing eyes down on the podcast. I feel like it's just such a great way to make this podcast actually an experience. If you haven't got your eyes closed down, it's okay. But if you do and you have your eyes closed down, great. Either way, I want you to roll your shoulders back, elongate your spine, take a deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Release your jaw. And I want you to think about the version of you that you are becoming. That version of you that you want to step into. The person that has the life that you want, or the partner that you want, or the job that you want. Think about them now. See them in your mind's eye. Feel into their energy. What do they look like? How are they standing? And then I want you to ask yourself, what is that person not doing that you are currently doing? What is the difference between you and that future version of you? What habit has that future version of you dropped? What mindset do they no longer have? Or maybe even what environment or person are they no longer around? Really think to yourself. All right, you can come back out. And if you didn't come up with an answer straight away, that's okay. You can just journal on this. You can ruminate on this. Sometimes the answers don't come straight away, but assign it to your subconscious. What is the difference between the current version of you and the future version of you? What is that future version of you not doing that you are currently doing? When you come up with this answer, this is your one thing. This is the one thing that I want you from today to challenge yourself to let go of, to release, to stop, to shift, to change your relationship with. And look, this is going to be so different for everyone. So I don't want to give you like clear instructions. I want you to get the instructions from your higher self, from your own intuition, from your inner guidance system of what this is for you. But the one thing for me, this idea, when I really think about my own journey recently, the one thing technique is something that I'm now going to be applying for the rest of my life. Like when I want to step into a future version of myself, rather than constantly thinking about all of the things that I want to do or I should be doing or all the new habits that I need to adapt, which sometimes can just feel like a that girl reel on Instagram or TikTok. I don't know about you, but sometimes I watch those reels and I'm like, okay, I'm really overwhelmed now. Everyone's got all their shit together. I have like dirty laundry over here and I'm chaotic. I'm living out of a suitcase. I am not that girl, bitch. Sometimes I get overwhelmed by that and I'm like, I don't know how to do all of these things. Doing more? Like, how am I meant to do more? But oh my God, doing less? Doing less feels good. Like I am so down for doing less. Sign me up to the doing less list. So what do you need to do less of? What do you need to release? What do you need to step away from that is going to get you closer to that future version of you? That is going to get you embodying that energy that you're wanting to step into. Because as I said, so much of manifestation is letting go. So much of manifestation is releasing. You don't always have to add more stuff. Sometimes you actually need to release and create space. And it's in that space that you are going to find that time that you've been searching for, that energy that you've been searching for, that alignment that you have been trying to get to will come from that spaciousness. Now, going back to my own journey with this, I mentioned this in my podcast about not drinking. And for me, this whole entire journey of stepping away from drinking and trying a sober lifestyle, it is a thing that has allowed me to be consistent. It has allowed me to show up. It has allowed me to step into the future version of myself. I have a very, very clear idea of what this future version of myself is. And I'm going to be very frank with you. I have been sitting with this future version of myself in my mind and on my heart for years. I have known the person that I am stepping into. This hasn't been like a new vision. Like I have known who I am becoming for years. And the thing is, this one thing, this one shift of stopping drinking, of stepping away from alcohol and just deciding to try a sober lifestyle with no judgment, just as an experiment, this has been the one thing that has had a ripple effect on every single area of my life. And it is wild. Like I never expected this. I had no idea that it was going to be like this. I didn't even want it to be like this. I didn't even want it to work this much. But this one thing that I have let go of has just made everything else so much easier. So in the past, I would, have all these ideas of like, okay, in order to be my future version of myself, I need to be more consistent. I need to be reading more. I need to be going on more regular walks. I need to be meditating more. I need to be journaling more. I need to be spending more time by myself. I need to be downloading on my own and not like looking at all these other things and having so much noise. I need to be in more silence so I can like connect with my higher self. And guess what? That all happened as a result of not drinking. Like I didn't actually have to do anything other than just stop drinking. And then all of a sudden, all of these other things that I have been trying or been wanting to step into and make a priority for years, it just happened. So that's the one thing technique. What is your one thing? What is the one thing that you can stop, that you can shift, that you can let go of? What is the one thing that future version of yourself is not doing? And how can you make a decision today to really step into letting go of that one thing, or even just not even step in, step out of that one thing, let it go, release it, burn it, shift it, make a change. And one thing I want to say here is make a change without making waves. You do not have to announce this to the world and make it like some big fancy thing that you do, that you put all this pressure on. For me, I feel like this experiment of not drinking, it has worked so well because it started as an intuitive piece of guidance and then it turned into a curious experiment. I have had very little seriousness about this experiment. I did not announce it to the world when I first started doing it. It was just something that I did for myself, by myself. I didn't make it some big thing. I didn't put all this pressure on myself. So I released the importance. I let go of the importance. I had a playful, joyful, fun energy about it. I didn't have a judgmental, like heavy energy about it. Like I said, I didn't even want to do this thing to start off with. I didn't even want it to work. So have a lightness to it with whatever you let go of. Because manifestation should be fun. It should be joyful. It should be easy. It should allow you to expand. So keep that joyful energy with this one thing technique and let me know how it goes. And if it works and if you see shifts and you see a change in your life like I have, because it has been massive, mind you, it's taken like 8 months for this thing to have a cumulative effect. But I did start seeing like results within the first like month of not drinking. It'll be different for everyone depending on what your one thing is. But if you see a result, then leave me a review on the Mindspo podcast and let me know that you did the one thing technique, because I am literally reading our Apple Podcast reviews all of the time. And I absolutely love hearing how the podcast is affecting your life, how it is changing you and shifting you and inspiring you. And that is the best place to just like leave a review and leave me a little message of like how this work is impacting you. So that is my podcast episode for you today. The one thing, my brand new manifestation technique, it has got me high on life. I've literally, as I've been recording this, I've been trying to think like, what is my next one thing? And I'm excited, but a little bit scared. And I want to say it's normal to be a little bit scared because I never expected the shifts and the changes that have happened from not drinking. So imagine if there was like another thing that I released from my life, like what could happen? I love the mystery of life. I love how life is always changing. It's always expanding and the universe is always working for you in your favor, for your expansion. I love this stuff. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the next one and I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for joining me for this episode. You can discover more from Mindspo on Instagram and TikTok by following @Mindspo and myself @Rochelle_Fox. If this episode inspired you, then please pass it on and share the love. And if you're new to our world and you want to elevate your mind and step into your best self, then be sure to download our app, Manifesty, from the App Store and take advantage of the free trial. With Manifesty, you can create your own vision board movies, practice powerful meditations, and set affirmation reminders so your phone supports your journey towards that abundant vision of your future. And lastly, always remember, you create your own reality. So go and make some magic.